Hey Legacy Builders, welcome back to Mind Your Money. She would start making noise as soon as I sat down. So in today's video, I'm trying to be quick and track expenses from, I believe, the 6th through the 12th. Alright, so on the 6th, I think I did this review when I was closing out my budget. But on November 6th, I pulled out $60 for cash savings challenges and, regular spending. And then on the 7th, our paycheck deposit hit for $262. That brought us to $445. She has her bottle. $445 and 43 cents. And then on the 7th, our tithe transfer was $63. That brought us down to $382 and 43 cents. So then the next thing that happened was my paycheck. I did that. A Quicksilver debt payment of $34 on the 7th. So the 7th had a lot of transactions because it was payday, which is the Thursday, because we're getting paid early. So Quicksilver, if you want to track expenses with me, I would welcome it. You have somebody to do it with if it's not your favorite part of budgeting. So this was a debt payment, and they took out $34. And after $382.43, that brought us to $348.43. This is helping me make sure I don't go over my budget or overdraft my account. So on November 7th, that was the last expense. And then on the 8th, we're going to start fresh with transportation fund, wellness, clothing, food. All of these accounts got $10 transferred to them. So I'm just going to write $10 in here. First of all, how should I categorize it? Or what's the account? Did I put the name of the account? Yeah. So we had transportation, and this was a transfer to savings. I need to make sure I write that in because sometimes just at first glance you don't notice it, that this was actually a savings. It wasn't a payment towards something unless you consider it a payment to yourself to save, which makes sense. But I tried to make sure these purpose funds get cash saved into it every single week now, like clockwork. And so by the end of next year, hopefully we can see a nice big chunk of change in there. All right, and then also our food fund gets $10 each week also. And that's it. So then this is easy to get the balance. $338.43, then $328.43, then $318.43, and then $308.43. And then we have our household account getting $5 automatically each week. So that's another transfer, and that is considered a savings. And so we went, ooh, you guys were out of frame. I'm so sorry. This is how I like to track it each week. So $5, and then that should be $303. So let's subtract 40, and then subtract 5, and now we're at $303.43 as a balance as of the 8th. And then four more transfers. We also put money into our next month's bills account, and right now we're just sending $1 each week until we can increase that. And the one thing I know that will help increase that is if we pay off this debt a little faster. Annual bills also got $1. These accounts don't have a high balance right now, but I'm projecting that by the third quarter of the year next year, we'll have them fully funded with our goals. And I'll probably share that with you guys sometime in December, what that purpose fund savings goals look like. Family savings on the 8th also got $1. And that brings us to $300.43. And then my second son's savings account got $1 also on the 8th. So that was another transfer. And that was to savings. $299.43. So was that -4? Yeah. So that's where we are. And then we paid our Visa credit card $63 on the 8th. So this was a debt payment. It's very windy today. I don't know if you guys can hear it outside. Things are being blown all over the place. The wind is so high. So we're at $236 as a balance in this operating account. Let me make sure I write it here. This is our 360 account where we operate from. November 24. Okay, and then I bought some groceries for $31.83 at Stop and Shop. So I'll write the transaction as groceries, even though it's really a purchase, but it's coming from our food category. And when we subtract that, we get $204.60, which matches with my spreadsheet, which is good. And then I went to Costco. I actually bought only 2 things that day. I have my receipts here. I should use them as a remembrance. So I went to Costco and I bought eggs. I bought 24 eggs. And then I also bought garbage bags because we didn't have any more. I bought these mint garbage bags. They help ward off the raccoons because they're so huge. Not raccoons, possums. These possums are huge. So we use these outside, so we needed to replenish those. So I split this up into 2. And then I just divided the tax into 2 because the tax was $1.81. So the first thing I did was account for the eggs, right? I bought eggs. Let me just write eggs here. And the eggs plus half of this in tax came up to $8.89. So that's the first part of my purchase. $195.71 is the balance. And the second part is the garbage bags. And of course, that's not a food expense, that's a household expense. So I'll put garbage bags. And then I'll call this household. So I know what it was. And I logged that as $21.90 to include the taxes. So minus $21.90. So $173.81 as a balance in our operating account. And then on the 8th, I went to AutoZone. I needed these things. I forgot what it's called. But they're these, the little tire covers, whatever, to keep the air from coming out. I needed to buy those. So, car thingy, I forgot what it's called. But that is a transportation expense. Anything related to the car, any maintenance, gas, anything coming from transportation. And I spent $3.25 for those. So minus $3.25 brings us to $170.56. Okay, now, oh, more groceries. I feel like this wasn't groceries, but I don't know where my receipt is for this $14. And I even went through Fetch. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I think this was food. Stop and Shop. I'm going to have to label this as groceries. And we spent $14.48. So I'll subtract that, and we get $156.08. Okay. Next up is Trader Joe's. Oh, you know what? It was, I remember now. I went with my children. I think this is the one. I bought some snacks and I bought some water for the baby for $14.48. Then we went to Trader Joe's and we bought more groceries like the cereal that we eat, the milk that we drink, some fruit, and some fresh vegetables and some bread, stuff like that. We spent $42.33. I think I have it here. Yep. So we bought spinach, we bought multigrain fiber bread, some toaster pastries, milk, chicken breast, chicken thighs actually. I bought some half and half for our coffee, my husband and I's coffee, some Greek yogurt, and some whole wheat bread. Oh, and some cereal. These are O's, TJ's O's. They're comparable to Cheerios, except for it doesn't have all the bad stuff in it that Cheerios has. So we spent $42.33 for food, and that brings us down to $113.75. I'm making sure that my spreadsheet is accurate too. Okay, so then our electricity bill, this is the first time in a very long time, and when I say long time, I mean in years, since I've paid my electricity bill directly from my account. I don't like doing it, and I don't want to make it a habit, but I just want to make sure we pay off our credit card before we start using the credit card again on a regular basis. So this is a monthly bill, and this will come from this account. Well, they come from this account, and that was $48.61. That cleared. So $48.61 leaves us with $65.14. This is where I started to get nervous when I was looking at the balance, because I wasn't sure if all of my other transactions that are set up automatically would be covered. But I'm hoping that it will. So Fidelity is my IRA, and this was a transfer to basically invest over there. And so that was $25 that they took out. So at least I know that was covered. But then there's still another $10 that has to come out later on this week. And I'm filming this on Tuesday to be posted on Wednesday. And by Thursday, we'll have our full paychecks in this account. And I'm hoping by then it'll cover the rest of this week's transactions, because we were a little off this week. Okay, and that was the last transaction that posted on the 12th actually. So Fidelity and PSEG both posted on the 12th. Everything else above that, I think Trader Joe's was the only transaction on the 10th. Everything else was the 8th. So let me just... She finished her bottle, so give me a second. $31.83. I bought, I don't know what this is. Apple? This must be something for the baby. I bought some formula for the baby. This is the liquid ready to serve formula, $15. It's so much more expensive at Stop and Shop, I realized. So I'm glad I kept my receipt so I can remind myself later, don't buy the formula from here. Buy it from Target, because Target is less expensive. So I think I tracked everything. I went through all of my receipts, so I know what was what. And we're at $40.14 midweek, ahead of our third paycheck. I still have another $10 for Fidelity to come out, and then I have $30, I think, for Robinhood. Robinhood, the last time they took out money, it was on the 5th. They took out $35. And what day was the 5th? It was election day, I think. Ugh. God is good. Okay, so, oh yeah, that was Tuesday. And this is where we are right now. So it would have come out today, but I think because yesterday was Veterans Day, it's going to come out tomorrow. And that does make me a little bit nervous. Let me check something else. Fidelity took out $10 on the 6th, which was last week Wednesday, which means they're going to try to take it out tomorrow. I might be in an overdraft state, which means I have to transfer some money into this account, this operating account, quickly to make sure I'm not overdrawn. So Fidelity took out $10 last week Wednesday, which means they're going to take out another $10 probably tomorrow. And Robinhood took out last week Tuesday, but again, because yesterday was a holiday, they probably won't hit until tomorrow, which means, oh my gosh, I need to transfer some money, because with only $40.14, We have another 10. Oh, that's exactly what I need. That leaves me with 14 cents. And I can't buy anything else. So that's exactly what I need. This is exactly enough to cover Robinhood taking out $30. Right? Yeah, I wrote 35 on my expense tracker, but it's not 35 going to Robinhood. It's 30. So that was an accident. So I have enough, just enough, to cover those two. So I'm not going to transfer any money into my operating account. I'm going to leave it just as is, and we'll have our paychecks hit on what day? On Thursday. So there's really nothing on my credit card expenses except for the payment on November 7th that we made, and that was $34. So this was a debt payment. $34. And so now our outstanding balance is $250.79. We still have a little ways to go, and we're mid-November almost. We're almost mid-November, so I really have to get on it. But that's it. That's everything. For credit card expenses, just the balance we rolled over from October for $415, and then the two payments we made that brought our balance down to $250.79. And this is where we are in our operating account. So that's how I track my expenses, you guys. I hope you guys found some value in this video. I hope you were able to track expenses with me. If you haven't heard yet, I am finishing with this book. This is my annual budget workbook. I might use it again in the future if I want to, because I have it there. But I do have a new budget workbook that I'm using for 2025. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to zoom out a little more. So this is the 12-month simple budget planner for mindful financial planning. It's very simple and very easy. I already wrote my name and email address on the back of the cover. I started planning for January already, and each section has a vision board as well as an undated calendar, top 3 goals page, your monthly budget, and then 5 budget by paycheck worksheets to get you started. And then there's a budget recap if you choose to do a budget recap. And then I have expense trackers. I made these a little shorter and the boxes a little wider for people who write a little bit bigger. I tend to write bigger if the spaces are bigger. So I think, you know, it to each his own. A mid-month budget check-in, right? And then a net worth tracker at the end of each month, a blank page for any brain dumping or pre-planning or brainstorming you need to do, and then there's a savings challenge that you can do throughout the month or get ready to budget it for the next month if that's what you'd like to do. And there's a start date, a finish date. You color in the boxes based on the amount that the challenge is. So these are $10 each box, and you color it, you stash it, and you smile because you're saving a little money. So that's how it goes and throughout the year. So I'll be using this to track expenses, set up my budgets, and stay on top of my money. So that's it. That's all for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Remember to mind your money, manage it well, and live your lives abundantly. Bye for now.